Hi everyone, my name is Antonia, this is PerryPictures, and today we are doing a character design collaboration with Scomicmaker. And at the end, it'll be my characters versus hers in a standoff for all of mankind. If you two are human, this includes you, so make sure to buckle up. Make sure to buckle up because this includes you. Without further ado, character design challenge. Ooh, 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 ooh. At least one of those has to be usable. We are about to get started. We kicked off this challenge with a plot generator to develop the story at random that we will be using to design our characters for this challenge, aka these guys. And it randomly generated the following. An alien invasion has destroyed the world as we know it. The year is 2090. Canada is a deserted place ruled by zombies. Once glorious, the Grand Canyon is now possessed. Helpful author Dr. Nadine Jolie is humanity's only hope. Nadine finds the courage to start a secret revolutionary organization called the Four Forks. Remember that, that's going to be important. The fight is jeopardized when Nadine is tricked by arrogant lawyer Professor Hector Cockle and injures her elbow, of all things. Armed with nets and brains, the Four Forks try their best to save mankind, but can they defeat predatory zombies and restore the Grand Canyon to its former glory? We shall see. Some of you may already know this from watching Amanda's video, but if you haven't seen that yet, I will be drawing the heroes in this story and she will be drawing the villains. So on the one hand, we have Dr. Nadine Jolie and the Four Forks, and on the other we have Professor Hector Cockle and the predatory zombies. So let me go ahead and introduce you to the first character I am drawing up on screen. This is Gran. She may look like an adorable little grandmother, the kind that would give you sweets and cookies, and I guess cookies are also sweets, but do not underestimate her. Under no circumstances do not underestimate this Gran, because she is no nonsense, all action, very little time to stop and talk. I actually spent the most time working on her design because I really needed to nail that aesthetic that was going to set the tone for the rest of the piece. And even though I really enjoyed the coveralls with the rain boots that she had at the very beginning, I realized that that wasn't very futuristic and I wanted to push this a little bit further into the future, into 2090, with a couple dystopian motifs. And since this is a zombie apocalypse dystopian future, I wanted to turn her cane into a melee weapon, so we have that. And her gun itself was looking a little old school, so I decided to pull up a Marvin the Martian toy gun for reference and give her something that looked a little bit more futuristic and a little bit more alien tech, if not cartoony. But hey, cartoony is a good look for Gran. And of course, that's not all the firepower that she's carrying. She is obviously packing some TNT in that shoulder strap belt she's got there. I wasn't born yesterday. And while that might look like a foam reel on her hip, it's not. It's an extension cord for something that is going to be a little bit more collaborative between the other members of the Four Forks, and I will get to that. Meanwhile, let's talk about Brock. Former hockey star and aspiring engineer prior to, the downfall of human civilization as we knew it. He became an essential member of the Four Forks after Nadine severed his arm at the shoulder following a zombie bite that would have cost him his life. Ever since, he has been applying himself diligently to all the tasks that their team embark upon and has made fast friends with their alien companion, who is a part of this party as well and that you will meet later on. Brock's pessimism plays the perfect foil to Nadine's positivity. He's always quick to point out all the ways that things can go wrong, but that just creates an opportunity for them to come up with contingency plans, which sometimes they genuinely need. So let's take a moment to talk about the big guy's appearance, mainly the arm that we have attached to his severed limb. This looks like something that he maybe created on his own, perhaps a little bit of help from his alien companion and a little alien tech sort of retrofitted in, which created a lovely bonding moment for the two, I'm sure. And then let's talk about the chest piece. There is, of course, a armored chest piece on his top half, which could interpret this as some perhaps goalie armor from playing hockey. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys here. I didn't actually reference that, so hopefully it has some semblance of what it should look like. Fingers crossed. But what I'm really excited to get into here is actually the weapon on his back. So we are now working on that, and it is going to be the collaborative piece that we had talked about a little bit earlier with Gran. We are working with alien technology here, so there's some repurposing happening with their technology and the humans' current needs, considering the current environment. And if we harken back to the original script from the plot generator, it did say armed with nets and brains.
According to my calculations, we're fucked.
So long story short, what this weapon does is it actually casts out an electromagnetic force field net. And in order to power this thing, we are gonna give our hero, Nadine, who I am now officially drawing, a duffel bag full of battery packs or, a mobile generator. But before we get there, first let's take a look at that axe, because as I mentioned earlier, that would be the same signature weapon she used to sever Brock's arm. Which reminds me, the only real piece of information that we had about this character prior to me building the rest of the characters around her and creating more backstory from that necessity was that she is an author. That's one of the things that was included in the randomly generated plot. I've chosen to create this character as a young adult, so she's not quite in Gran's wheelhouse as far as life experience goes, but she's also not a child either. Wardrobe-wise, I was looking all over Pinterest for more of a dystopian desert sort of futuristic sci-fi vibe, and I saw a lot of these hooded cloaks, so I chose to do something like that, although it's not like a full-length duster or anything. I wanted to also include some of these baggy, almost cargo-esque pants, and of course, these boots were made for walking.
Whoever says the pen was mightier than the sword must not have tried an axe.
And that brings us to the fourth member of our party. If Gran is the aggressor and Brock is the brains, Nadine is clearly the leader, this guy is the tourist in the group. For any of my Animorph fans who might remember the Andalite Chronicles and Prince Elfangor, the fact that he had 4 legs and a scorpion's tail, and then the upper torso that was mostly humanoid, with exception to the actual head lacking a mouth because the character was telepathic. I've kind of taken that idea and flipped it, so now instead of having 4 legs like a centaur, he instead has 4 arms, kind of like the Tharks from Princess of Mars, or if you watch the movie adaptation, then the movie John Carter.
Not how I intended it, but go on.
I refer to this character as a tourist because he is kind of out of this element. He's very curious about everything, and he's not so much invested in the fight from a moral standpoint per se, so much as he has made close friendships, he is now invested in the fight. So it's more of a personal rather than a moral standpoint for this character in particular. Oh, right, of course, we are in color now, so I'm really excited to say that the lineup for the characters is complete, and we have our cast, our band of characters for this party of heroes that are going to face off against Amanda's cast of villains. The only tricky part now is finding a color palette that works unanimously across the board. And I'm taking cues from the setting for this story, which is the Grand Canyon, so I'm trying to use a lot of warm colors, a lot of desert colors. But then we also have our alien influence, so that is where I'm also pulling in these blue colors, and I'm going to infuse this lightning blue color into the weaponry as well. But not everything you see on the screen right now is going to stick around. These are just some flats that I chucked down quickly, and I will say that green that I had here has already disappeared, and we're not going to be bringing that back. Now that you can see all the characters in their entirety and completely in color, let me know in the comment section down below which one's your favorite and why, because, I gotta know why. Just between us, my favorite is definitely Gran, but don't tell the others. We are so close to the end, we just have a few steps left, namely shading, highlights, and effects. The effects are the really fun parts, so stick around, those are coming up very quickly. And of course, they're gonna get repositioned on a nice, beautiful background and presented in all their glory, ready to battle it out. And while I throw down these final touches, I'm going to go ahead and toss up on screen the comment of the week celebrating you guys, yes, you the viewers, because I appreciate every piece of engagement that I receive on my channel. I do my best to respond to all your comments, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for all your support. Before I reveal the final image, I'm going to go ahead and pass this over to Scomicmaker. She had an announcement to make, so please stay tuned, and I will see you in just a moment.
Hello everyone here on Perry's lovely channel. My name is Scomicmaker and I took on the villains for this story. So if you want to be a bit spooked, head on over to my video after you finish checking out this amazing art to see what I cooked up. It was a ton of fun working on these, so I am very excited to show you. Thanks Perry for inviting me for this collab, and I'll see you guys over there.
Here is the final image. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and that you enjoyed how these characters turned out. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave those down in the comment section below. If you liked this video, please remember to like this video by hitting thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe because we are making art and animation content on my channel all the time.